I believe there's some explanation for this universe.
Mystery buried deep in the hills of eastern Washington keeps resurfacing. A bottomless pit said to be a pathway to the paranormal. KOMO4's Denise Whitaker heads east in search of the hole.
Imagine a hole so deep and strange that even wildlife avoids it. A place wrapped in silence and dark secrets that challenge everything we know about the natural world.
Mel's Hole is a complex, very interesting mystery.
What if I told you a billionaire tech pioneer recently sent a drone into this eerie abyss, and what it captured was unlike anything ever seen before? Such a discovery isn't just a curiosity.
This is an endless hole, and people get it confused with what I call the devil's hole.
It could rewrite our understanding of hidden forces lurking beneath the Earth's surface. This is a mystery that has baffled people for decades, and now reveals something far more unsettling than anyone expected. The enigma of Mel's Hole. Mel's Hole is not just a deep pit, it is a paradox that defies the laws of nature. Located near Ellensburg, Washington, the hole appeared ordinary at first, but its depth baffled anyone who tried to measure it. Mel Waters, the man who discovered it, attempted to lower a weighted fishing line, expecting to find a bottom like any other cavity in the earth. Instead, the line kept descending, passing 1,500 feet, 5,000 feet, 10,000 feet, and astonishingly, well beyond 800,000 feet, with no end in sight. This unfathomable depth would normally cause such a formation to collapse under Earth's intense pressure and heat long before reaching such lengths. Yet, Mel's Hole remained open, stable, and bizarrely silent. Even wildlife seemed to recognize its peculiarity. Animals refused to venture near, and birds altered their flight paths as if pushed or pulled by an unseen force around it. The natural world appeared to recoil from something unnatural. Visitors who approached the area described an eerie atmosphere, a silence so heavy it pressed down on the lungs. The air itself felt wrong, as if charged with an invisible energy that unsettled the mind. Local residents spoke in hushed tones of low hums and strange echoes rising from the depth, sounds that did not seem to belong underground. Those near the hole sometimes felt a strange pull, like standing on the edge of an abyss that wanted to draw them in. Despite these warnings, people still interacted with the hole in unusual ways. Junk, broken furniture, even dead animals were thrown inside, yet there was never a splash or thud. Objects simply disappeared without a trace, swallowed by the void without making a sound. This led to rampant speculation about what lay beneath, but the mystery only deepened as no one could confirm any findings. The hole seemed to take relentlessly, but gave absolutely nothing back. Some dismissed it as folklore or an elaborate hoax for years, but the consistency of reports and the palpable unease among locals proved this was no ordinary sinkhole. The hole became the subject of dark rumors and fearful legends, a place where the boundary between reality and the unknown seemed blurred. Mel himself was shaken, feeling the hole was far more than a geological curiosity. It was something alive and watching. Still, the truth about what makes Mel's Hole so different remained buried beneath layers of fear and secrecy. The simple act of trying to understand the bottomless abyss only raised more questions. What was at the bottom, if anything? Why did it resist natural laws? And most unsettling of all, was it waiting for something or someone? Those who dared to peer too closely into the mystery often found themselves overwhelmed by unanswered questions and strange experiences. The hole was a silent enigma, a riddle wrapped in darkness and conspiracy that refused to yield its secrets. And it was only the beginning of a story that would grow stranger with time. What lay beneath Mel's Hole would soon catch the attention of one of the world's most resourceful and curious minds, setting the stage for a revelation no one expected. That curiosity would open the door to a series of eerie events and hidden truths that few could ignore. Early encounters and strange phenomena. The first public clue to Mel's Hole's disturbing nature came from Mel Waters himself during a 1997 radio call-in to Coast AM. His voice trembled as he described the area, warning that even his own dogs refused to go near the hole. If he tried to coax them on a leash, the dogs would dig their feet in stubbornly, refusing to approach. It was clear that this was no ordinary hole. Something about it frightened even animals instinctively. Shortly after, stories began emerging about objects vanishing without a trace after being tossed into the pit. People had thrown all sorts of things, trash, furniture, even animal carcasses, expecting the usual sounds of impact, but hearing only silence. One neighbor's dog died and was wrapped up and dropped in the hole. Yet days later, the dog reportedly returned alive, but distant, unfamiliar, and unresponsive. This chilling tale spread among locals and was at least partly supported by Mel's own observations of strange behavior near the site. Birds refused to fly over the hole, changing direction in mid-flight as if reacting to a force field. Radios and communication devices acted oddly around the pit, picking up strange voices that were neither in English nor any identifiable language. These whispers would grow clearer the closer one came, as if the hole itself was trying to communicate, or perhaps warn. Adding to the mystery were dreams and sensations reported by those nearby. A dreamer experienced an endless fall into the abyss until he arrived at a waiting destination. The others experienced a strong sensation that someone or something invisible to them was pulling them toward the crevice. The combination of physical phenomena and psychological effects created an intensified atmosphere of fear and fascination which surrounded the hole. As the stories accumulated, skepticism began to clash with fear. Did these events happen by chance, or did they represent something more sinister? The Pacific Northwest became a hotspot for paranormal activity because Mel's previously ordinary land had transformed into a center for strange reports of both ghostly sightings and scientific phenomena. People came to observe everything, yet only a few people actually confronted the hidden truth. The pit appeared silent, yet its quietness concealed active yet undetectable forces. Mel and his local companions believed that the hole possessed both depth and life, which people could not comprehend through traditional understanding. The pit functioned as a natural sinkhole or cave system, but its existence as a dangerous and enigmatic pit created something completely different. Outsiders who wanted to discover the truth became more interested in the situation despite their existing fear. The local legend developed into a widespread phenomenon that reached beyond Washington state boundaries. Mel realized that the pit contained more information than he previously believed possible. The strange events continued while dark forces arrived to hide the true nature of the hole. The hole's quiet menace invited questions that only broadened the mystery, leading toward a shadowy confrontation neither Mel nor the world was prepared for: government intervention and secrecy. At first, Mel Waters tried to live normally, treating the hole as a strange anomaly on his land. Yet, over time, strange vehicles began appearing near his property. Unfamiliar cars, surveyors he couldn't identify, and eventually helicopters that hovered low and slow. It became clear that something official had taken an interest. Then came the day Mel returned home to find armed men waiting for him. They wore no badges, belonged to no known law enforcement or military branches, but they knew his name and exactly where he lived. One man stepped forward, calm and cold, handing Mel a legal document stating the government was taking over his land. Despite Mel's refusal to leave, the message was clear and forceful. He must vacate immediately or face consequences. The language was formal, but the intent was unmistakable. It wasn't a negotiation. A separate warning was whispered to Mel by another agent, telling him to forget everything about the hole if he wanted to keep himself and his family safe. It was a silent threat that left no room for denial. Faced with no options, Mel packed up and left his property. effectively losing control over the mysterious hole. Weeks later, he received offers that seemed almost too generous. Cash far exceeding his land's value, medical care with no questions asked. It appeared to be a compensation package designed to keep him quiet. This combination of intimidation and incentive was a classic method for silencing inconvenient truths. After his departure, Mel vanished from the public eye for a time, but he never stopped hearing rumors, whispers about ongoing activity near the hole. People spoke of armed guards and covert operations, safeguarding the site from prying eyes. The government's sudden and heavy presence only confirmed one thing: the hole was more than just an odd geological feature, and what was down there mattered deeply. This cloak of secrecy only fueled speculation. Why was the government so desperate to hide the hole? What exactly was being protected or studied? Such questions hinted at experiments or phenomena far beyond normal science. Locals recalled strange disturbances, an unexplainable thick black column shooting skyward, electromagnetic anomalies, and even bizarre materials like ice that could not melt despite exposure to fire. The area became a no-go zone, sealed off and heavily guarded, turning Mel's hole into a real-life mystery zone. Those who knew the story began to understand that certain truths come with severe consequences. Curiosity could cost more than just information. It risked safety and freedom. While people stopped asking questions publicly, the hole's silence spoke volumes. It was guarded not merely by armed men, but by layers of fear, power, and secrets too dangerous for the world to see. That day, Mel's discovery transformed from a strange legend into a guarded enigma, shielded at the highest levels. And even as the government tried to erase the story, the hole's presence continued to haunt the minds of those who knew the truth, and it was about to draw in one unexpected visitor with the resources to see deeper than anyone else before. This growing web of mystery would soon intersect with the curiosity and technology of a figure known worldwide, setting the stage for revelations that defy imagination. Local legends and tribal stories. Long before Mel Waters stumbled upon the mysterious hole near Ellensburg, stories about strange places where things vanished had circulated among native tribes of the region. These indigenous tales often spoke of realms beneath the earth, where the boundaries between life and death blurred, and spirits lingered in ways the living could barely comprehend. The hole, but unnamed and more mythical, was said to be a portal or a gateway, a place both revered and feared for its power to swallow those who dared approach too closely. Local elders recalled warnings passed down through generations, describing the land near the hole as cursed or touched by forces beyond human control. These stories were laced with descriptions of shadows that moved against the light, eerie sounds rising from the depths, and an unsettling presence watching from below. Such accounts gave the hole an ominous reputation long before any modern investigations began, placing it firmly in the realm of legend rather than mere geological curiosity. For Mel, learning about these tribal stories was unsettling but enlightening. It suggested his discovery was not a random anomaly, but part of an ancient mystery, with roots far deeper than he had imagined. The hole might have existed for centuries, silently influencing the land and those who lived near it, hidden beneath layers of forgotten history and suppressed knowledge. Some believed that the hole was a manifestation of a natural phenomenon mixed with supernatural elements, a physical and spiritual trap coexisting in the same space. Others theorized it was a sentient entity or a machine created by an unknown civilization, waiting patiently for a time or purpose that humanity was yet to comprehend. These ideas, while speculative, added layers of depth to the mystery, connecting it to a broader human experience of fear and awe toward the unknown. The indigenous perspective showed that specific Earth locations exist beyond current scientific understanding because natural laws there demonstrate properties which do not obey their normal functioning. The cultural setting of Mel's Hole turned it into a battle which humans face when they try to understand things which defy their understanding of existence. The research demonstrated that the hole created two types of danger, which affected people who came into contact with it. Mel's discovery brought back these stories, which confirmed his actual experiences. The people involved in this matter needed to prove their identity because they needed to understand which parties had hidden this information and the reasons behind their actions. The indigenous tribes had protected this knowledge for centuries, but modern society intends to ignore their ancestral warnings about dangerous situations. The legends maintained their existence because people continued to tell their stories, although society underwent rapid transformation, which made it seem impossible that Mel's hole existed as anything more than an endless abyss. The terrifying concept attracted both fascination and terror from researchers and conspiracy theorists and important people who wanted to investigate what existed underneath the visible world. The tribal stories maintained their power to reach listeners who heard them because they contained secret mysteries which extended beyond scientific phenomena toward the ancient stories which define human existence in the cosmos. Mel's hole became a point where traditional stories existed alongside actual events. The abandoned area of the hole contained a past which functioned as a hidden alert because it contained essential historical facts which remained hidden until their discovery, yet their existence needed protection from human activities. This ancient dimension set the stage for the discovery of other similar phenomena, expanding the mystery well beyond Washington state. Other mysterious holes. Mel's hole was not an isolated case. Reports of other bottomless pits with strange behaviors began to surface, suggesting that the Washington hole might be just one among a network of enigmatic chasms scattered across the country. One such location reportedly existed deep in the Nevada desert, guarded and hidden from public view. The man who discovered this second hole was cautious, aware he was treading into territory monitored by unknown forces. Unlike Mel's hole, this Nevada pit was described as alive in a different sense. Witnesses reported seeing lights and hearing unsettling hums that seemed to vibrate through the ground and chest alike. Objects thrown into this hole did not simply vanish. Instead, they sometimes returned altered, edges smoothed, shapes refined, hinting at some transformative process at work. The phenomenon suggested something active, something manipulating or reshaping whatever entered its depths. The man who reported this second hole became increasingly secretive. He used multiple aliases, rarely stayed in one place, and seemed to carry the weight of being watched. His sudden disappearance without warning or trace added to the air of mystery and fear surrounding these bizarre formations. It was as if uncovering too much about these holes triggered consequences beyond ordinary suspicion. If two such holes were known, the question naturally arose: how many others remained hidden? Some theories speculated that these pits might be scattered beneath military sites or classified locations, sealed away from civilians and guarded for unknown reasons. The possibility of a larger system of these bottomless holes raised alarming questions about their origin and purpose. Scientists and skeptics floated several hypotheses, from natural sinkholes with unusual geological properties to tunnels created by unknown advanced technologies or extraterrestrial intervention. None, however, fully accounted for the strange phenomena witnessed, such as transformed objects, strange electromagnetic effects, or the unexplainable sensory experiences often reported nearby. For Mel and others who followed these developments, the existence of multiple holes confirmed that this was not an isolated freak occurrence, but part of a broader and more troubling puzzle. Each new report added complexity, suggesting a worldwide or at least nationwide phenomenon deliberately kept secret from public knowledge. Authorities' swift and secretive responses to these discoveries reinforced suspicions about a concerted effort to conceal the truth. The holes shared similar traits: impenetrable depth, strange physical effects, and heavy surveillance. Such commonalities hinted at a connection that went deeper than mere coincidence. As whispers about these locations spread, so did theories about what these holes represented, from gateways to parallel dimensions to experimental technology gone awry. The truth remained elusive, but one thing was clear. Humanity was standing on the edge of a discovery that could drastically shift its understanding of reality. While Mel's Hole had attracted attention for years, the emergence of these other pits magnified the urgency and scale of the mysteries surrounding them all. This expanding web of secrets was about to intersect with unprecedented technology, setting the stage for revelations that challenged everything we thought we knew: the unusual ice and environmental oddities. Among the strangest phenomena reported near Mel's Hole was a peculiar substance locals came to call simply the ice. This ice was unlike anything seen before, smooth, glassy, and cold to the touch, yet defying all attempts to melt it. One man, curious about its properties, took a sample home and heated it with a welding torch at full flame. The metal table beneath the ice melted first, while the ice itself remained stubbornly intact, refusing to give way even under extreme heat. Days after this experiment, the man's house mysteriously burned down, with no clear cause or explanation. Some speculated the ice reacted adversely to fire, triggering inexplicable consequences. Its origin baffled scientists and locals alike. Some believed it was pulled up from deep within the hole. Others thought it might have been part of an unknown experiment linked to the government's secretive activities in the area. The ice's presence suggested the hole was more than a simple geological anomaly. It hinted at interactions between the subterranean environment and unknown forces or technology. The inability of fire to affect the ice challenged basic scientific principles, raising questions about the materials or energies involved at the site and how they might differ from anything else on Earth. Prolonged periods and an eerie silence often blanketed the area, broken only by low-frequency booms or hums. These sensory anomalies heightened the sense that something powerful and unnatural lingered just below the surface. The reports described a night event which showed a black column that emerged from the hole and rose into the sky. Witnesses described it as either a tear in the air or a dark force moving in the opposite direction of gravity. The event defied explanation, which created additional uncertainty about the true nature of the pit. The government increased its site presence, which matched the rising strength of the unusual natural phenomena. The area became inaccessible because armed guards protected it from local visitors and media and independent investigators. The complete soundlessness which covered the entire area created a state of secrecy that permitted rumors and fears to spread without receiving official confirmation. The unusual ice and the hidden, nearly intelligent environmental features pointed toward advanced technologies and secretive forces. The hole created surface interactions which humans could neither comprehend nor anticipate through their natural and engineered elements. The ice, which remained unknown to scientists, served as a physical representation of Mel's Hole. The hole contained forces that surpassed all existing scientific knowledge. Even after the fires died and the guards tightened their perimeter, whispers refused to fade. Hunters spoke of compasses spinning wildly. Birds avoided the sky above the pit. Electronic devices glitched. Screens flickered. Batteries drained without warning. The ground sometimes trembled with a muted thud, subtle yet deliberate. Those who lingered too long described pressure in their ears, weight in their chest, a strange metallic taste in the air. Whatever pulsed beneath the surface did not sleep. It waited, silent and immense. Amid these bizarre occurrences, a new chapter was about to begin, one involving the cutting edge of technology and a figure capable of probing deeper than anyone before: Elon Musk's high-tech drone exploration. Years after Mel Waters' initial discovery and the government's tight control, Elon Musk became involved, bringing resources and technology far beyond anything previously used in the area. Known for pushing the boundaries of exploration, Musk deployed a specially designed drone intended for hostile, GPS-denied environments, not caves or sinkholes, but outer space missions. This cutting-edge machine was equipped to handle extreme conditions, providing a rare opportunity to glimpse what lay hidden deep inside Mel's hole. When the drone descended, its cameras revealed walls that were unnervingly smooth and almost perfectly carved. Unlike anything natural, the tunnel extended endlessly into total darkness, confirming that the abyss reached depths beyond all previous estimates. As the drone went deeper, sensors began to pick up an unusual signal, something unlike any radio frequency or electromagnetic pulse familiar to science. This signal was rhythmic, almost like a heartbeat, an inexplicable pattern that suggested an active, living presence or a mechanical function somewhere below. The discovery sent chills through those monitoring the mission. It wasn't just an empty hole, it was transmitting, communicating in a way no one had imagined, either naturally or artificially. Curiously, the signals abruptly stopped without a crash or loss of contact. The drone vanished into silence, leaving behind only unanswered questions. This sudden cutoff defied normal explanations such as equipment failure, hacking, or interference. It was as if the hole itself absorbed the drone, severing the link with the outside world. Elon Musk's reaction was cryptic but serious. He warned that what was inside the hole was scary and that humanity was not ready to face it. He did not label it alien or supernatural, but his cautionary tone implied that the phenomenon was beyond any known scientific or technological framework. Musk's involvement elevated the mystery from local legend to a subject of global intrigue and concern. The government's long efforts to silence the story now faced the undeniable truth captured by the drone's footage and data. While official statements remained non-existent, the involvement of someone as influential and resourceful as Musk hinted that the whole secret was no longer entirely contained. This breakthrough opened a new chapter in the saga, posing profound questions about what lurked at the bottom and why it was kept hidden for so long. The drone's eerie signal and sudden disappearance were a glimpse into a puzzle, potentially capable of reshaping humanity's understanding of the world. With cutting-edge technology now in play, the boundary between myth and reality had blurred even further, inviting us to question not only what Mel's hole was, but whether we were truly prepared to uncover its final truths. Beneath the fading telemetry logs, analysts replayed the final frames again and again, searching for patterns hidden between static and shadow. A faint vibration pulsed through the audio feed, subtle yet deliberate, like something waiting. Engineers debated, scientists speculated, officials deflected. Yet one certainty lingered in the control room. Whatever stirred below had noticed the intrusion. And in that chilling realization, curiosity transformed into caution, and exploration into quiet dread. The story was far from over. In fact, it was only beginning to reveal the terrifying scope of what lay beneath. The terrifying footage and unanswered questions. The drone's descent into Mel's hole revealed far more than just an endless shaft of darkness. It uncovered a reality that defied explanation and challenged belief. After encountering the smooth, almost sculpted walls, the drone's sensors detected an eerie signal unlike anything known to science. The rhythm resembled a heartbeat, a pulse that suggested the hole was more than a void. It was alive or controlled by something operating far beyond our understanding. As the drone ventured deeper, that heartbeat-like signal persisted, growing stronger and more distinct. Then, suddenly, the drone went completely silent. There was no crash, no alarm, only total communication loss. This abrupt end left experts baffled and the public anxious. What could cause such a total shutdown of cutting-edge technology designed for extreme environments? Elon Musk's response to the drone's findings was chilling. He refused to offer sensational labels like alien or supernatural, instead insisting that what lurked within Mel's hole was something humanity was simply unprepared to confront. His words hinted that the phenomenon was neither science fiction nor folklore, but a terrifying reality hidden beneath the Earth's surface. The government's long history of secrecy about the hole suddenly made more sense in light of these discoveries. Official denials and silence were less about concealing trivial anomalies and more about protecting the public from something far more disturbing. If the hole was truly alive, or a gateway to forces we cannot control, the need for secrecy becomes undeniable. The footage that became public showed some faint movements, which appeared at the bottom of the hole, but these movements did not provide enough evidence to support any hypothesis. The speculation about the area includes the possibilities of finding new ecosystems and discovering advanced technology and encountering unknown scientific phenomena. Each new discovery about the void only deepens its mysterious nature because all evidence brings forth additional inquiries. Local reports about strange phenomena now have new value because they describe events such as mysterious lights and unmelting ice and complete absence of sound. The surface appearances of this situation show the hidden mystery which Musk's drone investigation discovered only partly. The hole operates as a dynamic mystery which creates connections with its surrounding environment through methods that scientists have not yet discovered. Elon Musk functions as a crucial figure who combines scientific knowledge with technological expertise to advance the narrative, because he represents those who build new scientific frontiers. His presence at the site indicates that the contents of Mel's hole will bring either scientific breakthroughs or unprecedented dangers. He presents no straightforward solutions because he chooses to approach situations with precautionary measures, yet also generates captivating interest. The last discovery brings us to a decision point where our desire to know becomes mixed with our need to protect ourselves. Are we encountering an anomaly of nature, a hidden realm, or a technological wonder? The most important question concerns whether the active, deep-seated phenomena within Mel's hole require us to prepare for upcoming developments. Mel's hole exists as an unresolved matter, which presents a more complex puzzle than the depths of the abyss. The place has maintained its hidden knowledge through strict protection, but modern technology now investigates its hidden areas, which leads to new discoveries that come with both potential exploration and ensuing dangers. Mel's hole challenges our understanding of reality, blending mystery, science, and secrecy into one chilling enigma. Elon Musk's drone footage has opened a door few thought possible, revealing unsettling truths that push the limits of belief. If you found this journey fascinating, please like this video and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's greatest mysteries. Until next time, stay curious and stay safe.